Hi there. I'm Jim Raffle of the Jim and Shelby Show, All Things Print Podcast. This is episode 1 of our new season, and I'm joined as always by Shelby.
I'm Shelby Sapusik. How are you doing today, Jim?
I'm good, but we have like another square, so could you
No,
introduce,
no,
please?
it's Hollywood Squares today. Hi, Colin. This is Colin McDermott joining us. And unlike when we do our All Stars podcasts or get-togethers, it is really like Hollywood Squares. There's so many of us on. Anyway, Colin, yay, we're here. This is our first episode of 2026, and we are joined by Colin McDermott. He was my team captain of the All-Star team at last year's Printing United Expo. And Colin, can you just introduce yourself? We want to hear about you, what you do, and something called Print Mastermind.
Yeah, listen, thank you so much for having me, guys. I've watched many episodes, so it's nice to be on the other side of the camera for once as well. Yeah, I'm Colin McDermott. I am the online print coach. I've been in the industry for since the 90s. Let's say the 90s. I don't like putting a number on it, but I've been around a long time. I ran my own print companies over the years, and in 2016, I sold up my last print company, went to work for one of the big corporates for a few years, and then ventured out and trained up as a certified corporate coach. And I've been doing business coaching for the print industry for the last 5.5 years.
Okay.
Great. And we were just discussing before we started, you're in Scotland,
I am indeed. I am indeed. Just in a little place called Troon, not far from Glasgow.
but through the miracle of technology, you can coach people anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very, very fortunate. And I think certainly COVID times, if anything positive came out of that kind of period, was that people were making an obvious shift to still being able to communicate online. And yeah, I'm very, very lucky. I currently work with about 75, 80 different print companies on a one-to-one basis. Um, all over the UK, Ireland, USA. I've got clients in Jamaica, Israel, Australia, South Africa.
Wow.
So yeah, there's no way I could. And I actually put a post on LinkedIn last week. I think I had been to the States 3 times in one day. I'd been to Ireland twice, England once, and yeah, there's no way that would have happened before COVID. So yeah,
No.
very very lucky that I'm able to do business so worldwide.
Well, and I'm going to play off of something that Shelby said, the Print All Stars and the Hollywood
Mhm.
Squares. First of all, having met a good portion of that group, I don't know how you guys could even conduct a Zoom meeting with all of the small egos in that room because no one would want to talk.
Yeah, it's a challenge at times. It's a challenge at times, but
I actually mean
no,
that in the most positive way.
of
It was
course,
quite a
yeah.
team that Printing United put together, and it's a very fortunate connection for
Mhm.
colorcasters and hopefully for you as well. I know that
Yeah.
Shelby was on your podcast
Mhm.
a month or two ago, and I still have to go back and listen to that episode. I apologize. I've just been it's on my holiday to-do list.
We talked about you too, Jim. You're missing
We
out.
did indeed.
Well, I know the
We did
best part
indeed.
is you did talk about me, so it had to be a great episode.
Speaking of small egos,
That's why I
Yeah,
wear a
no,
hat. I wear a hat to keep my ego in. So
no, the power team that the Printing United guys put together. Like when I got the list through of obviously who had applied and who was being selected, like it was like, wow, this is one hell of a team that's been put together here. And some of the guys I'd met before, some I hadn't. Um, but it just clicked, didn't it, Shelby? It just everyone got on so well. Everyone was kind of fighting for each other's corner. And I think we went out and done a bloody good job. And yeah, kind of I mean that was my first time attending Printing United as well, which was mad. But yeah, it's definitely a show I won't forget in a hurry, that's for sure.
it's a big show, isn't it?
Massive, massive. And in fact, it was only my second expo in the States as well. So, yeah, it's going to take some beating for sure. But I don't know. I've heard some really good things about Vegas next year as well. So, yeah, they've got to top Orlando though.
Oh, we'll be there. We'll be in Vegas. So tell us a little bit about. I know you have essentially kind of two businesses, right? Because you've got this print mastermind group that I think Shelby's going
Yeah,
to. part of
hmm
somehow.
Yeah,
So you've got that, and then you've got the coaching, right? And I don't know which one
yeah.
I'll let you lead with whichever one you want to lead with.
Yeah, no. So initially, we started off with the one-to-one coaching, the online print coach being the brand, and as you can see from
Yeah, I
behind me
see
here in
that.
the banner, but yeah, that was always kind of the initial plan. There wasn't any plans beyond that when I first launched. And ultimately, listen, I've as I said, I had my own print companies. I lost the first one during the 2008 2009 recession. Kind of took a year out, came back. You come back stronger. You learn from your mistakes. But the one thing that I really kind of wished I had when I started out, there was no one there to show me how to grow a print business, how to build a business. And I had to learn the hard way. And one of the things I wanted to do through this role was stop people making the mistakes that I made along the way. Someone to be a sounding board for. I know. Back in the days when I had my print business, I didn't really have anyone like that. I would always come home, talk to my wife, sound off on how the day had gone, and she would always say the complete opposite from what I wanted to hear, which she was probably right. But
Oh,
yeah, we won't tell her that. Well, we won't let her listen to this. But I think the one thing I quickly learned was that there is drastically a need for someone in our industry. Obviously, there's lots of people out there, but there's a need for having someone you can bounce ideas off, share knowledge with, someone who's going to keep you accountable. And that's what I've been doing for the last 5.5 years. And I'm now at the point where kind of I've got clients who I've been working with for 3, 4 years, and they're kind of seeing the transformation that we've achieved together, and the fact that they've allowed me to be a part of that's been extremely rewarding. And yeah, it's by far the best job I've ever had, to be honest with you. So I love what I do, and the good thing is, just now, as I mentioned, I work with 75, 80 different companies at any one time. So you get to quickly see what's working, what's not working, and you can help businesses kind of get to where they want to be quicker by sharing those successes as well. So, but whilst there's other people out there doing what I do, there's still not enough. And I quickly filled up, so kind of I hit that glass ceiling of how many coaching sessions I could do in any given day, a week, month, and I wanted to help more people. So, hence where Print Mastermind came from. And actually, kind of it's been reborn a couple of times. It actually started off as the Print Growth Academy, and I didn't quite like the brand. We reinvented it as Print Masterminds, and yeah, it's going really really well just now. We've got it's an online training platform and community for business owners across all corners of the industry. We've got commercial printers in there, signage companies, garment decorators, and people in the promo space, and we all get together once or twice a week. There's a structure to the calls. It's definitely it's got that kind of mastermind theme, but ultimately you've got businesses who are potentially competitors coming together and being open, sharing how their business is doing, sharing ideas, and ultimately we're all growing and getting stronger together. And it's a really powerful community that we're building just now, and we've got big plans for next year as you and Shelby know as well. So yeah, that's kind of where it came from. And then I guess the third brand to kind of throw into the mix is obviously the Print Reviews, the podcast, which again I just love speaking to people, getting to know their stories, and yeah, the podcast is a great way kind of to do that, and also to share how the ups and downs. Because listen, running a print business is not easy, and I think the one thing I've taken from having the podcast is the amount of people who message me afterwards, and kind of something we've said, some part in that conversation has just resonated and given them peace of mind that they're not alone, and other people out there are going through the same as what they are as well.
well, and it's interesting that I was listening. There's so many parallels to our business because we are
Hmm.
obviously consultants. We spend a good part of our time face to face in front of our clients because we
Hmm.
kind of have to for some of what we do. Not everything, but for some of what we
Yeah.
do. And you're right.
Hmm.
Being allowed to be part of that is really it is powerful. I mean,
Yeah.
I just came back from 2 days of consulting within driving distance,
Hmm.
kind of a long drive, but and this was a company who um, until he attended an event we were at earlier this year, he really didn't. As he told me, he says, my entire conception of color and what we needed to do got turned around 180 degrees when I was at the UV Energize event in September. And
Hmm.
that's when I told my owner, we need to have you in. And
Yeah.
then being able to actually come in and help them begin that, because all we did in 2 days is begin the turnaround. And they literally will now look at color in an entirely different way, and they'll look at it
Hmm.
as a workflow and not just a thing. Yeah, it's really cool to be part of that. I agree, and we do the same thing with the podcast, obviously, and
Hmm.
probably where we're slightly different is we do some large group training, so it could be online. And when I say large, it might be 3 people, it might be 25 people, but
Yeah.
and it's either online or in person. We've done both,
Hmm.
and it's the same kind of thing where you get this group together, and yes, we're presenting from the front of the room, but as you said, that just provides the structure. There's still all
Hmm.
that interaction that goes on and the questions that come out of it that everybody, hopefully, including us. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but I always learn something every time we're at the front of the room, and yeah, it's a really powerful model. And like you said, there's not enough people. Yeah, we have competitors, and would I
Hmm.
like more business? Yeah, but at a certain point, I can only do so much. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got one more week I could maybe fill in December, and then
Hmm.
then we're booked into January already. Part of January is booked, and it's you can only do so much. So there's a lot of room, and yeah, we're competitors, but we're helping the industry, so hopefully we work together. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. That's it. And I think, yeah, like kind of being at that front of the room, kind of like you do because you're always listening, you're always learning to the feedback you're getting, and kind of obviously we need to, as educators, and kind of look out for those opportunities. Again, a lot of the content that I kind of write in my articles for various trade magazines or on LinkedIn or whatever, kind of they all come from kind of listening to the problems that people are having and experiencing as well. And kind of that allows us to get better and improve at what we do as well, doesn't it?
So yeah, it does. I have an ask, and I think it might be a way to help grow your mastermind group. If someone
Hmm.
listening to this podcast said, well, why would I want to join that mastermind? Um, what would be your top three? And if you don't have three, that's fine. What would be your top takeaways or benefits that people are realizing, or aha moments? Something that just makes me go, wow, that's really powerful.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, God, I could sit here for hours. How long do you have? I mean, I've actually literally just come off one of those group calls just now. And actually, one of the members was sharing a new workflow that he generated between his kind of print and MIS system to kind of improve his workflows. And there was quite a few people in the community use the same MIS system, so you could see the ears kind of pricking up as he
Yeah.
started to demo this. And I know they're a way to kind of arrange a separate call now to kind of have a conversation about how they can implement something similar in there. So I mean, kind of that's one example. But I mean, last week we had a conversation talking about. So every week we kind of tend to have a different theme, different discussions, different structures. Last week we were talking about how we reactivate dormant customers, because again, how many of us are sitting on an absolute gold mine of
Yeah.
client work that we're not making the most out of? So we just had a good open honest conversation, and you could see all the notepads kind of getting kind of scribbled on and things. But again, just getting the perspective of not just one or two people, but like our calls typically have 20, 30 people on them just now. So you're getting people who are sitting in the same position as you. Some businesses much smaller, some much larger. The larger businesses are taking notes from the smaller companies as well, as a vice versa. So when you get all those people together and you start brainstorming, kind of again, I don't have all the answers. I've always got ideas and suggestions, but can't be an expert in everything. So therefore, if you can get the input from all those people in the room who at some point have either sat in the same position as you are, Some might be further behind, some might be further ahead. Um, but if you surround yourself with people who are successful in print, then that's gonna come back and reward you the same way if you put the effort in and you spend time and you listen to these people. And again, it's about giving as well because you'll always have ideas to put into the table, into the room that other people might not have thought of as well. So it's my job to facilitate that, to make it a safe space. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of other examples
That's
that we've
that's
had.
no,
There's millions.
I think you just honestly you hit one that you hit me.
Hmm.
Reactivating dormant customers. I mean, because
Yeah.
Shelby and I have been doing this now since about 2016, so we're coming up on
Hmm.
10 years, and
Hmm.
we definitely have customers we worked with over those 10 years who we haven't heard from in the last 2 to 3 years. And
Yeah.
what a great project over the holidays.
Hmm.
It's always a little slower. What a great
Hmm.
project for both of us to kind of go look in the database, see who we can find, who we
Yeah.
were, a lot of times just literally just going through and going, wow, these were really good customers. What happened to them?
Hmm.
Let's
Yeah.
reach back out and see if we can make something happen next year. What
Sometimes they just drop off through no fault of your own. But
yeah,
again, many businesses are so focused on going out there trying to find new business. Like, can I share a quick example actually, if it's
yeah,
okay?
please.
We had it was a print shop we were doing work with 2 or 3 years ago, and we're all very guilty of we speak to the top 10, top 20, top 50 customers like on a regular basis, but I'm coaching this client with 2 or 3 months in, and we start looking through his customer base, and there's about 500 customers on there. He's not been in touch with. He's not spoken to. He's not even emailing them on a regular basis. And I actually brought someone in to do some kind of strategic outbound, just courtesy calls, just to touch base. It's been a while since we've heard from you. Is there anything we can do? This is what we've been up to. Do you know we increased his turnover by 35% in the next 3 months just by reaching out to those customers that he'd
It's
neglected?
just to tell people. I mean, so what Colin is saying for those of you who don't understand the business side, maybe some of our, let's say that customer is doing $100,000 a month. They're now doing 135, right? Am I doing the math
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Hmm.
And so that
Yeah.
these are big numbers you're talking about
Hmm.
just by
Yeah.
getting somebody on the phone
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
touching base.
Just
And so if that was 1 million a month, all of a sudden it's 1,350,000. So
yeah. And I
yeah,
can almost guarantee every single business listening to this will be leaving money on the table. I've yet to come across one business that I've been working with who isn't leaving money on the table.
we know we are.
Another another
Yeah.
another quick example, actually, if you don't mind, was a customer in the States actually, and we ended up doing a survey with these clients to just try and understand again, like what was the potential, how much were they spending on their print marketing, who else were they using, were there any particular products that they wished that they could supply that didn't, kind of the usual stuff. And again, because again, we're not very good at educating our customers. How many times have we had a client say, "Oh, we didn't know you done that"? And Now this was a fairly big customer, to put it in context, but through that one survey, I think we got about 80, 85, 80, 86 responses from certain customers. Just from the customers that responded to that survey, we uncovered about $1.5 million being left on the table.
Wow.
Crazy.
Crazy.
That's a
And
great note to start wrapping this up on because those are the kinds of numbers I like hearing.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's been, I don't know about, I'm gonna kind of close with this, and then Shelby, if you have anything you want to add, that'd be great because we haven't heard much from you. But I've had some conversations with my clients, and it's funny. It's funny how a year later people are willing to be a little more honest about things that happened a year ago. Um, and
Hmm.
and we had kind of a rough year last year. The top line was good, but the bottom line wasn't. And
Hmm.
and I thought we were alone, right? And I was talking with a client, and they're a substantial size printing company. Let's say close to 10 million annual
Hmm.
turnover, and they lost money last year. For the first, they've been in business 13 years. It's the first year they lost money. And he
Yeah.
said we attributed it all to the month of November last year. And I'm like, yeah, that was our killer month. It was
Hmm.
brutal. And
Yeah.
he said, yeah, and he says and he's actually since left the company he helped start, and he's
Hmm.
doing some consulting with another company. He says, yeah, the reason they brought me in, and they had the exact same problem last year, same month, same thing, years and years and years of profitability, one bad year because of a month. And of course, as you know, I'm working on the business side, all financing is a 12-month look back. So everybody's
Yes.
finally willing to talk about that because that month is falling off your 12-month look back. Yeah, I mean, for us, it was really brutal. And then, but
Yeah.
like you said, lessons, right? I mean, we've run our business very differently this year as a result.
Hmm.
And it's showing up on the top line and the bottom line. And that's the
Yeah.
key. It's got to be
Hmm.
both top line and bottom line, or it's a waste of your
Of course
time.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And listen, in this industry, there's going to be peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
And the more years you've got under your belt, the more planning you can do, the more things you can put in place to
Oh,
accommodate that, as you guys have this year as well, obviously.
what a great first episode. This is awesome. So Shelby, what do you want to add to all of this?
Just that it's interesting because the way that I look at our leads in our system, I put due dates on things. And as
Hmm.
I get into October, and a lot of people are like, oh, I'm moving facilities or I'm instituting some new software, get back to me in a month or two. I've moved all of those people to like the first 2 weeks of January to start tagging them.
Hmm.
So, right about when this episode's going to publish is when I'm going to be saying, "Hi guys, happy 2026." And how did that move go? And how'd that software install go? And are you ready to set up a call yet? Because we have time. And that's what I'll be doing the first two
Hmm.
weeks 2026. So it's
Yeah.
interesting to hear you talk about that because we didn't really plan that out.
Yeah.
The reason
Hmm.
I'm quiet, by the way, is I've had lots of opportunity to talk to Colin, and we've, had a lot of back and forth where we did a whole podcast on, his episode on his podcast. Obviously, we worked together at Printing United. I wanted you to have a chance, Jim, to really get to know Colin. He's so much fun to talk to, and he has a great business sense.
Yeah, and as we discussed again before we started recording, I spent a little bit of time in my career in the northern part of England, Newcastle, several times. I was actually there 3 or 4 times. I owned a software company at the time, and
Hmm.
which is finally shut down. And we had a distributor, and one of their owners was based in Newcastle. So
Okay.
I haven't been to Scotland. I wish I'd have gotten over the border, but
Next time. Next
yeah,
time,
next time.
for sure.
Company field trip.
Yeah, maybe we need to do a trip. Yep, yeah.
I'll make
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
I'm already going to Italy in May, so that might be it for next year, but maybe the year after. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you.
We'll do the best we can to get URLs and such in the show notes. And once we do publish this, again, you're going to be the very first episode of our new season. If you see anything wrong there, just let us know. Jacob will get it updated
Yeah.
for you. But with that, I think thanks for joining us, and we'll see everyone next episode.
Thank you,
Thank you
Colin.
so much, guys.